Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hello, what's up? How's it going? I'm back. I'm back teaching my class. From teaching my class. Guest lecture, that is. All right. Got to do a lot of catching up, and I got to get a lot of these units out. So, and then I got to pull names for the units. So that's another thing I wanted to do today. But let me see if everyone. Let me make sure that list is up to date. Get the chat up. Turn this down. Shh. Okay. Let me check out this list. There we go. Forms. Oh shit, 28 responses. Okay. So I got 28 responses. So I got two. I actually found one unit recently. So they found one unit somewhere. They found it somewhere. So there's one left. There's two missing out there. So I guess I'll be getting another one later. So I'll draw another name out for that. But I'm just want to get these two out of the way, and then we'll do a quick refurb on a V1, and then I think that's it for today. And then we'll see how that goes. But let me get you guys the link, so in case you wanted to sign up for it last minute. Where is it? Responder link. I should shorten that URL. Drop that here. Oops. Drop it in group by. I'll give that a few minutes, but I haven't roasted in a while, so let's see what I got going on. Let's check out the V1 first. Some new stuff on the table. Got a mini cyclone. So I need to get a new tube for it. But since people are complaining about like roast and taking chaff out mid roast, I was thinking about putting one of these in. Just turning my vac on real quick during a mid roast on a 500-gram drop, and then running that, letting it collect, and turning it off so it doesn't mess too much with like ROR or getting heat out of the chamber. So we'll test this out and see how it goes. I don't want to store a bunch of chaff in here. I just want to collect it after each roast and then empty it. So I'm gonna try using that. And I got it hooked up to my little Milwaukee vacuum. We'll see how that goes. But I still need to get the 25 millimeter, I think, diameter hose that I got to grab at Home Depot. So I'll tell you guys how well this works out. I know some people wanted to empty out their chaff mid roast and do it safely without burning their I'll burn up all their chaff. So we'll see how that goes and see how it works. But a lot of people with those Hookie roasters, they're using this thing. Well, this thing right here. They just sell them in the cylinders. You can put it like in a bucket or something, like a metal bucket. They sell like the little Cyclone standalone. They're only like 18 bucks for this metal part right here. The whole canister though was like 50 bucks. Oh, here it is. So yeah, just like a little mini Cyclone you can use. You could get any kind of canister. You just have to drill the hole and then put it in, and you kind of drill that in on the canister, and then you could use like, I don't know, paint canister, plastic canister. There's a bunch of people with those Hookie roasters that were using this that I saw on Home Barista forums. So I'll see how it works whenever I get it set up. But that's how I'm gonna try to collect the chaff. I'm first gonna try 3D printing a little thing to go over the little chaff tray and seeing how that works, and hopefully that won't melt to pieces, but we'll see. And then a few other things I got running. I'm just wasting time so people can fill in that form real quick and I could draw a name. And then I got some PT100s, and then I got it hooked up to run on high beam. So if anyone really wants to get into running a PT100 probe, RTD probe, onto their Skywalker, this is mostly for V1. Then yeah, this one's like a PT100. I think it's like what, $12 altogether. These are pretty cheap. These Max 31865s are pretty cheap units. But you kind of have to solder it in for now until I figure a way to make it easier. And it runs PT100 pretty good, so we'll see how that goes. And it's also drop-in, so let's see if I have a... Yeah, let's see. Trying to see if I have an extra probe somewhere. Well, basically, same probe that's in our unit right now, and and then you can just easily just drop it in rather than having to drill a hole, which a lot of people are doing. Because I drilled the hole and I don't see that much of a difference. Just the numbers are different, but in terms of like temperature readings with the NTC is about the same. I didn't see any kind of significant difference. So it's another option that I'm looking into. I'll put the plans on how to do it. I'm trying to come up with something less soldering and more just plugging in, but we'll see how that goes. Everything's about time. I think that's it in terms of all the cool new stuff that I got recently. Can't think of anything else. I still have to make. I still got to work on this thing, and then this thing, and I'm also trying to do. Another thing else I have is the this is the same thing, kind of a deal. It's the thermocouple version instead of like a PT100. So in case somebody was interested in putting a PT, and somebody wanted the thermocouple because it reads faster than a PT100, then there's another way of doing that as well. I'm going to set this up a little differently where it's going to use ESP now to connect to high beam to this ESP will connect with this main ESP, and this will just draw information from the exhaust temperature, so I could monitor exhaust temperature. I have to figure out how to use ESP now, but that's another project down the line. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, let's go draw a name, and then I'll start repairing a V1. I think someone was asking what was the price if we get picked. I know it's not $525. I think it's like whatever the top price was. I think it may be like $530 now. $535 because of shipping prices and all this other stuff that I deal with. But yeah, maybe like $530. Just hold me at $530. All right, I'll go pick a name real quick and then we'll work on some other stuff. So get these names. Good. I got 2 more responses since I posted it up, so hopefully y'all get it. Responses, viewing sheets. Oops. Whatever. That's fine. Turn that down. All right, let's draw these names. Copy. I'm going to use the tried and true wheel of names. Oh, that's stupid Mevo. Actually, some names I forgot to take off. So let's take out that name. Take out all these blanks. Why are there so many blanks? Shuffle. All right. Let's post this up here. Let's go draw this name. Nope, that's not it. There we go. Now it's so silly that I'm having to do RNG like this, but it's just so much easier instead of contacting people and then having them ghost me for a week or 2 days because I feel bad. I kind of want them to get the unit. Ooh, my messy garage. Sorry. I have fixed my shit. All right, here we go. Click, 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 click. Oh, that's lame. All right. I don't know where these blanks are coming from. What the hell? Remove. I should have did remove all instances. Let's do that again. Okay, I gotta remove all these instances. It pisses me off. There we go. I should have did that before. I apologize. All right. Let me see if I could. I guess so. I was trying to delete him in the list and it didn't come up. So we'll get this guy going. So I'm just going to add this guy. All right, next person. I'm going to remove this guy. I'll try to send these out. Well, if you send me the payment today, I'll send it out for sure. Cool. And then Roger. Pretty wheel of color. All right, let me take this off streamer mode. At Roger 37144. Let me put their names in here. God, I can't type with this shit. There you go. Interested. Who's the guy? Voodoo? Yeah, Voodoo. All right, cool. Got that out the way. All right. Well, I'm gonna keep the list going because we still got like 3 more units that are missing, and I'm just waiting for them. But we also have I've set up another 40 to come. Not to me though. We're not doing that anymore. Fuck that. We're gonna we are instead going to have it go through ITOP. It's just this weird way of collecting money, and it's probably going to cost a lot more now that I have to probably add a little bit of the California tax to it, which kind of sucks. But you know, liability and all that kind of things. I want to get the state of franchise tax board to get on my ass. So, but it's going to take a little bit to set up. I got to set up the list. How much more are you thinking? I'm going to try to keep it low because I don't want to get in trouble and make money because I'm in the state of California. But I also don't want to lose money because I did lose money on the last group buy because I got one, right? So of course I lost like 4. I think I pretty much paid full price if I with all the money I lost, which isn't terrible. But yeah, 7.25 would be it. That is my taxes. So what is that? 5:30 now. I don't know how much Vanessa's gonna, or the lady from iTop is gonna add in to the whole thing. So I think it's like what 5:30. Just whatever 5:30, and then 7.25 of that. The thing is, it's all being sent from over there, but if I do, it gets complicated. Like if there's something if I'm the main person to contact for the purchase, then I'm considered a reseller if I make any profit. Any kind of profit, and California doesn't care, and they always want you to take taxes, and they want me to get some kind of seller's permit because they think I'm a reseller. So it's kind of a lot. And then there's always a chance for someone could like I guess sue me as well. So I think he's realizing he can't sell them. He can't sell the V2s. He can't sell them because of the whole FCC thing. Yeah, you should be if you signed up for the group buy. I'll at group buy you, and then I'll get you on that list for it's gonna come up pretty soon. I just got to make the list tonight and then give it to Vanessa. I want to post it on Discord first because if I make it look small and I don't look like I'm selling it to the general public, then I'm at less risk of being considered a reseller, I believe. So, and these are all sample units, engineering units, um, very small production of them. So, there's not for the general public. I want to keep it on Discord first, get all those names in, and then if we have like what 10 or more spots, I'll go to Facebook. Um, Usually the Discord people are kind of nicer. Some of the Facebook people are good too, but yeah. Shoot, can we get inside to do the? These are all and then there's no name in front, so I took the iTop logo off the front just so you can have your own name on there. Unless you like the iTop logo, I think it looks pretty ugly. Wait, did you guys see the new Q Bean thing? Hold up, hold up, because I saw her post it. Well, they're calling it Nova Roaster, which is the stupidest fucking name I've ever heard in my life. But because I think of Ice Nova, I guess, and then they're calling it the Nova Roaster. So, so I don't know. So that's probably just the nerd in me. But let's see. Let me look up her name. Jesus Christ, that's loud. Let me turn that down. I think that's one. Or there's Final Fantasy powers. All right. Wait. Can you expand this? There we go. So, they changed the IR bulb. There's the guy Renato was telling me that they're different. Construction is different. They seem to be a little bit stronger or brighter. Um, he also got a unit with the V2 backplate on a V1. So for his friend did, and wherever they're from. So I think some of the newer units are getting the V2 backplates, which is kind of nice. But yeah, this looks I don't know. This looks way uglier than the Cubine. This looks like disgusting like metal front panel and then IKEA grade wood on the top, and then you got the shitty display, the shitty touch control of yesteryear, which feels like nothing when you touch it. Yeah, that beam shoe handle. They were 1000%. They were looking at another roaster, and they're like, I think we could do that. I think we can make it look even stupider than it already does. They also mentioned something else about turbo airflow. Um, no, they don't. I don't think this one has a cooler. They took the cooler out, which that makes sense. Yeah, the bean cooler is just like I think they just chopped the bottom down, like chopped the bottom off. I don't. I think it just goes into a tray. Let me see that. There's another picture of the Q bean somewhere because I don't see where they put the tray. I gotta turn this guy's voice off. I don't know what he's saying. Yeah, they had that extra slide at the bottom. Yeah, they had that extra slide at the. They had that sliding table in one of their pictures. Let's go find it. But yeah, this is the new 200-gram roaster. That's basically a miniaturized version of the V1. Um, Now with wood, and let's just take a peek at Cubine first, because Cubine just looks way better. Oh, yeah, the Nova roaster is testing. Who wants to be the first Nova dealer in the country? They could probably do this one because it doesn't have an uncertified Bluetooth unit, so good on them. But Cubine, Akimata Cubine. Real quick, we'll just look at it real quick. I promise. It just looks better. Oh, they only give me a picture of it. Fine. Direct image. Open image in new tab. There. I don't know. That looks a lot nicer, and the wood looks. I don't know. I think it's 3D rendered though, so. But that just looks better. It's probably gonna have the same cheap wood they used last time. I don't know what's going on back here. Um, I don't think that's a pull out. Yeah, I don't think that drawer at the bottom pulls out. I think it's in a separate. They had a picture of it somewhere where it's like a separate like a thing. What's the knob at the side? I have no idea. Yeah, that's kind of annoying that it's off center. I don't. They're not. They're doing a lot of things that doesn't make sense. Yeah, the knob is off. It just looks weird. And then they're still doing the same thing where they're gonna probably use a cheap or is this a cheap like LCD unit with the Bluetooth and the whole dual system, and then when you ask them if they're gonna certify it through the FCC, they said no. So this probably can't get sold in America or I think the UK and all the other westernized countries. Probably not. So you'd have to buy it through iTop. But because I guess they can stop it at port if they were to find like it's not compliant with something, so they could stop it at port. I don't know. Wait, where did that come from? I think it's for cleaning. We could put a vortex there, but it's so little. But yeah, that's the latest and greatest from Vanessa. She did show me this earlier, and I think she thought I was going to try leaking it, but I'm just too nice. But yeah, this should be probably could be sold in the US. Oh, I haven't talked. Yeah, I haven't talked to Joan. Just with the Foshan, just not Foshan, the Akimata group. I haven't talked to Joan since she went crazy. So I've been talking mostly with Vanessa. She's she's has better customer service than Joan, and she like Yeah, that'll be on my next list. I'll have to figure a way to get there. Maybe I could find a place to do a lecture out there. All right, let's get this back. One day I'm going to learn how to use my Steam Deck and set it up properly. Oh, Eric Yan. Sorry, buddy. Maybe next time. He's in the YouTube chat. All right. Let's go open up this new unit. I keep... That new unit. This is a V1 still. Ugh. Shit. All right. So still getting these returns from Precision. Let's go. Let's play the game of They Have a Fire. Nope, they did not have a fire, so that's good. Oh, Jesus. Oh, poor Sky Cowboy. Yeah, green prices must suck if you're roasting as a job. All right. We'll see if this works, and if it doesn't, if it works, then I'm going to switch out the temp probe. I want to try out the new high beam PT100 probe on this one. Let's go out further. Yeah, whatever, that works. All right. So plug this in. Oh, my back. And let's just kind of see if everything works. Why did I even click that? Where is cupping? There it goes. Ooh, this is broken. It's not even starting. Plugged it. Oh, there it is. Must have. Oh, all right. Well, it sounds like it's like a janky USB issue. Because I gotta wiggle it a bit. Yeah. So just a shitty. This is probably a bad board. I'm gonna have to request a new one, or maybe I can tighten up the USB because I know there's little prongs I can. Well, hold on. What the hell does this have? All right. I think this is this one got juices on it. Yeah. So this one. So this is the issue that I've kind of been dealing with. Let's go open this up and I'll show you what V1s I've been dealing with. I think this was everything looks like this was a leaker. You could kind of tell. But that USB port's kind of messed up, and if you kind of look right down in here, I don't know if you could really see it. He probably cleared it up, but you could look. Yeah, there's a little bit like I don't know if you can really see it, but looks like there's like signs of leakage over here. And then there's signs of leaking like right in there. He probably cleaned it off to do the return, so he wasn't at fault or something. But Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of leakage in here, and then usually if it goes down here, it will make its way from here, then all the way onto that USB port, and it's actually pretty common to see the board go out like that. We might be lucky because it still works, because it kind of still sounds like it works. Like if I were to clean it out, maybe get all the fluid off of it, you just using like isopropyl alcohol usually can get away with fixing the board if it hasn't shorted it, because it sounds like it's still working. It's just had some fluid that kind of build up. And you can kind of tell here too, like the USB port is a little, looks like it has a little bit of, like a little bit of wetness happened. I don't know if you could really see that. Sorry, this camera sucks. I was getting tired of using my cell phone. So I got one of these cheap Mevo cameras for like dirt cheap, and they're not that great. But I want to spend more money on roasters than I want on cameras, so. Okay, why is it? Boop, 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 right there. Okay. So let's open up the back. So I'll show you the quickest way to kind of service this. What's going on here? Why is it only showing? What the hell? Oh, all right, there it is. So let's open this back up. Why do I always do this to myself? I always lose that tool I love. All right. Well, be a little extra today. So, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 19 or 20 screws you have to pull off the back to get this back panel off. If you ever open this up, feel free not to put all the screws back on, because it's kind of ridiculous that you really don't need all 8 screws on that back side. Just maybe one up top and one at the bottom. At a service point, it doesn't make any sense why you'd put that many screws on. Got all these screws. Oh, and one thing you want to do when you're taking this apart, you see this cord? There's like a little thing that kind of protects the wire. You just pop that out and you can pull this thing off. Just like that. That helps a lot when you're trying to work on the board. And you literally just put it back together and you push it back in. It's not that big of a deal. Oh, that's the controller board. I don't want to mess with that. So you want to do that whenever you change out the board. Leaky, leaky, leaky. Kind of looks like a little bit of leakage over there. If you ever have your fan kind of touching the sides when it's spinning, you can also just loosen that up and then kind of adjust it a bit or tighten it sometimes, and that'll help with the noise. If it's like, if you hear it kind of like it's uneven or anything, if you hear it like scraping the sides, you can adjust this a little bit There's not a whole lot you can do, but there's enough to where it will kind of scrape the sides and make weird noises, and you might think you have a really bad fan. Like, where the hell is my phone? Sorry, this is usually faster because I have my electric driver. I don't know where it's at right now. But as you can tell, it's kind of a pain in the ass to pull all these off. These 4. Pull this off real quick. Make sure these are the 2 off ones that you take off, and you'll kind of notice that they're the only ones that are long and don't really fit the other screws, because basically the whole unit uses these M4 screws, and then these just the 2 random ones to hold these fans in. So I'm going to take a look at the board. I am going to pop these 2 off right here. These are the other 2 that are different, and these hold the they're kind of like they're not blunt at the end. And those are the ones that hold the controller board, because they're self-tap, I believe. All right, so after that, you can kind of pull this back. All right, there it is. I usually can tell it's liquid damage because right there. So you see how that kind of pulling right there? It's kind of dried out. We might get lucky, although I think they tried taking it out before. Oh. But we might just take isopropyl alcohol to clean that off. And then that's probably your best bet in saving this board if you do have an issue with it. But yeah, that's just one of really common issues with this is the leaking. And it's caused by these vents. You see how those vents are? They're positioned in a way like where if the water goes in, then it kind of just seeps down to the controller board. But if you look at the V2 vent, oh, I don't want to bring that whole unit. I'll bring it. Well, the V2, the vents are not, they're not like this. They're the other way. It's hard for me to show. I have to show you. But basically, it's harder for it to get in. This one is just easier for the liquid to get in. So one of the things I've been doing, you can see right there. Yeah. Just that liquid damage. You could kind of tell by those little specks that the fluid went through that area, then just dripped down into here nice and slowly. So whenever I see that happening with these units now, I just like to flatten them out. Just use anything, you can kind of find out that's kind of flat. It's going to be kind of hard with that, but so I'll usually just flatten these vents. That's something I could push down a little bit better. It's not going to completely stop it, but it's going to help me when I put the tape on. So I've been flattening that, and then I will just put aluminum tape on it. Really fancy aluminum tape. Okay, so got the aluminum tape there. Now I'm blocking all the liquid from going down in there. And then for safe measure, I like to do a little Captain tape. So been trying this out. I think it's been working pretty good, but that'll ensure that the liquid doesn't go flow down through there. The better idea still is to kind of probably just clean it up whenever you have a chance to just avoid all this. And let's go ahead and we'll take the board out. I'm gonna try salvaging this by cleaning it up and seeing if it'll work. I think it'll work. This is still working before. Let me just double check. I wonder if I could just clean it up from here because it is turning on still. It might be just the shitty controller board. So let me see. I'll get a clean one and I'm gonna test it out. See if we have any sparkies. Yeah, I think it's the controller board that's mostly messed up. Let's see. So if I preheat, it should turn the drum. Still beans inside. If I'm preheating, the temperature should go up. Right? 19 degrees Celsius. 21 degrees. So that's working just as intended. Let's turn that down. I won't turn the fan on. Actually, we'll turn the fan on. I'm going to turn the fan on, see if it runs. Why are you not working, fan? Hold on. God, I hate these controller boards. All right. All right. So I got a new in-box controller board. Or control unit, I should say. Let's see if that works. There it goes. Okay, fan works, heat works. That controller board that I had doesn't work because it's trash. Good, that's fine. Heat's sustaining. Yeah, all this works. It was just a really bad it was just one of the bad units, one of these, surprise, surprise. So definitely these aren't the greatest things in the world. That was a perfectly functioning one too that is being used. Let's see if I plug it in again. Yeah, works just fine. Also, that controller unit, it probably just needs a little isopropyl alcohol at the contact pins. It's just not hitting. It's just not has enough contact on it. Like it's not hitting the spots where it needs to hit. So if I just clean it up, I'm pretty sure I could fix it. But I don't know. I don't care for much. So basically, biggest thing I really did was just to prevent leaking on that side, because that's usually where most of the board issue comes from, because it like the liquid drops down here, kind of goes down here, and then drips on over to the to this part right here. So one of the best ways to do is just to kind of cover that up with some aluminum tape. This is high temperature aluminum tape. It's kind of expensive. This is the 3M one. It's I think the regular ones are only rated for like 100C or something, where this one is like 200C. I forget how much. So this is the 3M. Just look up high temp aluminum tape. And then I just have your run-of-the-mill Captain tape I put at the bottom just to prevent any possibility of a short for, I don't know, whatever reason. It's also good for heat issues as well. Oh man. Camera went dead. Hold on. Son of a bitch. Yeah, something happened. My camera went out. That's why I hate these Mevo cameras. I don't know why I bought them. Well, let's go. Are we working? There we go. Yay, it's working. Sorry about that. And okay, so well, of course, next I want to add the fan to this. Okay, so let's clear this up. And every time you do like any kind of board cleanup, try your best to use 99% isopropyl alcohol. Is always recommended, but you could do 70% as well. You could get 99% at like your closest I think what's it called? Home Depot or hardware store. Let me go find some 99%. This is fine. I say 99%. I meant 91%. My bad. So, yeah, Equate. That's like a Walmart version here. So, get some of that. I'll just kind of. That was brave of me. Don't do what I just did. I literally just went up all in there with isopropyl alcohol. And you want to be gentle. Be gentle around this thing because this thing likes to break like no one's business. Like that thing just loves to just snap a little bit, and then you literally have to replace the whole thing because the cost of replacing that is stupid. Well, you have to find the same exact one, or you could try soldering in. People have luck doing that, but you're more than likely going to have to replace the whole board if you were to have one of those wires snap off. I did that with my first one. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm just empowering people to fix their shit because I don't want to pay Kaleido prices for a roaster. But I have to deal with this shit box. But I love this shit box. Right, and then just kind of clean up that area. Isopropyl alcohol does wonders. I mean, I really was focusing on all the contact points. Not me? Who's that? Hold on, let me check. Okay. All right, cleaning that off. And now I'm just kind of making it look nice. I did already clean off all the real contact points that were being affected. And you could go willy-nilly because it just evaporates. Just don't run it for a few minutes when it's... All right, we did that. That'll be all dried up by the time we're done. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put a new fan in here. See how the fan's not there yet? Because that's a thicker one. No, that's about the same thickness. I'm tripping. So what you want to do, now that they have these thick ones, to pull the board out, you just grab it here and just pull it out. Just like that. Just grab it here, pull it out. It's so much nicer with the thicker ones because you could put a little more a little more weight to it when you pull it. You don't feel like you're going to break the damn thing. So you're going to pull this out. What I'll usually do is I'll unplug these when I'm going to install this new fan. So I'll pop this out. So 2 wires that are white, there's no polarity that you have to consider. So that's your thermistor, your NTC. If they're sheathed, those are usually the bean cooling fans. And then right here, the thick wires are, let me go down in order. I don't want to mess you guys up. So, then you kind of follow the path. So this is usually drum, and this is usually exhaust fan. Yeah, good. So exhaust fan, and then drum. You really have to be mindful of what it is because the polarities are different. See that? I think they just did that to separate which one is the drum and which one's the exhaust. That's the only reason why I think they would do that. And then you have a 3-wire, and this is usually, you could tell this is 24 volt, or this is going through the to the power supply unit because just the thickness of the wires, because this is where all 24 volts are coming from. So you want that thickness. that should be enough space. I think I can work with that. So from here, let me put those fans on. So I usually just get these 3015 fans, or 3010. I think they're 3010s now. You don't think you could fit the 3015s anymore. So you got the 3015s, you could buy them 24 volt. You could buy these on Amazon. They'll come in a 5-pack. Really easy to get nowadays. A lot of 24 volt stuff is a lot easier to get now because of things like the Voron 3D printing project. Switching everything to kind of 24 volts made a big change for a lot of these like weird small fans. That's what I'm attributing it to. I just say maybe the whole 3D printing scene. Where's that little tool I had? Not small enough. Damn it, I did it again. This thing does not like to be touched. Sorry. I'm really getting sick and tired of this Mevo camera. If you look at it the wrong way, it'll just cut off. Or you just slightly tap it. Okay, anyways. So usually the wires, you have to change the polarity. So you would need like a little bit of a, some like little tool that you could fit in here, little groove, so you could pull out these pins and then put them back in. Let's see what I got. Will this fit? Nope. Will this fit? Yep. We're gonna make it fit. Whatever. I'm about to do that later. So I'm just gonna start making the holes in it now. So it'll fit in like this. It's plastic, so it shouldn't really interfere with whatever IC this is, or not IC, but whatever circuit is. So I'll put it right there and I'll start drilling. I can find my drill bits. My honeydew projects have gotten in the way. All right, let's see. Oh, that's something. Oh, that's right. I was using that. I was using this. There we go. All right, back on track. So I'm using a little Dremel now. I need to get the foot plate for this, but so I usually put it like right in there. Sometimes I'll mark it maybe a little higher. Still want to make a hole. Good. All right, this is part of the process where you turn on your safety squints, or use eyewear like you should. Do I have eyewear? Let's pretend like I have eyewear. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna activate my safety squints. Oh, that I made it a little bit deeper than that. Should be good. Which one, the Dremel or the this one? That came in like an electrician's kit from a Weira toolkit. If you're familiar with Weira, it's a German company that sells fancy tools, which I drank, apparently I drank the Kool-Aid. Too cheap to buy a Dremel, but I can definitely buy just as expensive Weira stuff for just a regular screwdriver. Oh, the drill. This is a Ryobi. I got this at Home Depot. It was on clearance. I do have a Dremel, but for some reason I like lugging this around because I could use my Ryobi battery with it, and I don't have to plug in. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Otherwise, I'd be stuck using the wall outlet, and I'm pretty sure with all the things I'm running through here, I'm surprised I haven't tripped the breaker yet. I'm getting pretty close. It's like, yeah, this is why I don't roast at a 100% burner, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna trip my breaker. Organized chaos. Is this it? Nope. Looking for a 14 millimeter. I think I had a bunch of them. That's it. Yes. And all these like 3015s, they kind of fit the same form factor where you just use a 14 millimeter M3 and you just tighten them in there. I used to tap them, but aluminum is so lightweight or so soft that you can just have it kind of tap itself. I used to spend that extra time trying to perfectly tap it, and then I realized I could just tap it myself. Save me some time. Yeah, this will just literally just cut right into it. Safety squints activated. Oops. Flip it around and just making the hole deeper. Try to get as straight as possible as you can, because if it starts rounding out, then you're kind of screwed on tapping it in. Slow and steady wins the race. Turn it off. And then we vacuum, vacuum, vacuum. Oh, this one needs to go a little deeper. I'm wondering why it wasn't tightened in all the way. All right, I'll make them a little bit deeper. Oh, damn it. Why did I blow it? Don't blow it on. Good, that's in. Good. You don't have to over tighten it. Don't over tighten it, because then you'll start stripping out the whatever weak threads are. It doesn't need a lot of force to be held in. Not a lot going on, too much going on in there. But I'll vacuum again. All right, let's put these back on. So this goes here. This goes here, even though it says negative and positive. Just don't follow the polarity on that one. Just plug it in like that. And then we'll plug back in the 24 volt. So all you got to do is, you don't have to, there's no order you need to put the bean cooler in, because they're both just getting shot off at 24. They're just getting 24 volt shot at them. There's nothing being controlled or anything like that. So I'll usually bring that in. So I'll put bean cooler, NTC probe. Then just shove that right back in. And then shove that right back in. Thank you. I'm probably get some air, compressed air, blow it out a little bit more so I get more of the aluminum out. but it's kind of hard to get aluminum back into the chamber. This is the exhaust. The only real way you'll get stuff in is maybe down here, or it could shoot some of the aluminum off. So I'll usually blow this place out. I'll blow that place out. And then with the fan, what you do, pull this out, and this is the power supply. This one's kind of a pain sometimes, but you can usually grab this, pull that from here, or grab from here and just wiggle it. But I want to pull that out, wiggle this out a bit. So you see you have two ports. It's the same connector, except, oh, we don't have to change. Oh no, I still have to change polarity. So should go in like that, but as you can tell, you have to turn it this way. It'll be the wrong polarity. So you want it to match this. So red over here, or 5-volt over here, and then ground on the bottom end, just like this one. And this just brings out another 24 volts to wherever you're going. What I've been meaning to do is doing the exact same thing like this, having thicker wires, put it in here, and then having my own little like 24-volt set of Wagos to act like a little bit of a power distribution thing for 24-volt. You could do that with it. I'm not sure how much, like, I mean, I don't know, like how hard you can run this thing. I don't know how many amps and things like that. I don't need any of the specs on this, so if you want to try running extra hard fans on it or extra bean cooler fans, just know that these power supplies are not the greatest and they have a limit. But you definitely could find the limit, and I would be grateful if you could tell me the exact specs of everything on there, so I know exactly what I could try running on there. Is this thing still down? All right, I didn't even realize my Osmo camera was down. There we go. Okay, so I got like 5 minutes, so I have to pick up my son. So I didn't get done everything I wanted to do, but at least we know, we went over how to install certain things. I'll probably do this later. I might just stop doing these fan installs and just start doing them at night. Get them done easier. I kind of wanted to do other projects on stream. The next one I want to do is to get the high beam PTU 100 working, and then I also want to get the new belts I got for my belted unit going. I got these high temperature EDPM belts for like a few bucks, so I'm gonna try that out later and see if that works. Let's see. Yeah, just another refurbing of these units. I think I have enough of the fan install for people will be happy to do it by themselves if they can. Voodoo's good. Okay, so Voodoo's gonna take that V2. I'm just gonna wait on Roger. If Roger doesn't respond in 24 hours, then I will move on to the next person. I'll give everyone 24 hours. I think that's it. Anyways, I gotta play good husband and fix up my house, and I will try roasting with this later. I need to make just like regular videos instead of streaming, just to showcase how to use this roaster. Oh, no problem. Thanks for staying. I appreciate it. It doesn't feel like I'm talking to just by myself. Um, I'll see if I could do more V2 stuff. I just have a lot of V1s I got to get refurbed, and then I got to sell them because they can't just hang in my garage forever. I need to let go of these units. Some of them work just fine. Some just need some upgrading. So I'm trying to think of anything else. So if you're watching this later on, there is a group buy happening for these engineering samples, is what we're calling them. So there are going to be 40 engineering samples. I'm going to probably put the list on Discord first, and then later for the Facebook group, because I don't want this to be general public sale. I want it to be within my community of other roasting technicians. So, and this it will be international. I think she'll be able to send them international. I don't know if you're allowed to get like the 220 volts unit, but you might be able to. Just ask Vanessa. I'll ask her and just write down when I get the sign up list. Just write down if you want a 110 or a 220. I kind of want a 220 unit, but you put that in there, and then they're going to be sent directly from. So there's no more of this sending stuff to my house anymore, and for shit to get lost. So now it'll be sent out from wherever they're from iTop. iTop's going to send directly out to you, and you just pay for the shipping. So yeah, I'm just collecting the money. So unfortunately, I'll have to collect California taxes to kind of save my behind. The biggest drive, really, it's not even that big of a deal, but I just want to test out and to really see if the 220s have less thermal runaway. It'd be more of like a me nerd thing versus an actual should you get a 220, because right now I don't have any reports of a 220 having a thermal runaway. I've had people say they've caught fire with the 220, but you could do that pretty easily by not paying attention to your roast. But I haven't had anyone have a thermal runaway issue happen with them on a 220, and I kind of want to test it out and see if it's true, and just do things like measuring the SCR with the fan off and how cool it is compared to ours, because ours gets pretty hot, like 120C or however I measured. Their heating element is different because if it's 220, you have to have um there's coils, there's carbon fiber coils, and when you have the 110, the coils are tighter. There's a whole thing I was reading on it. I had a spiel about it, but I can't think. But I think with the 220s, their bulb is obvious. They're different. Their bulb is it heats the same wattage. It's just the coils are out further, and that's because it doesn't need as much current flowing through them. Where you need more current flowing through those little coils. If you look at the, let me see if I can show you. I think that's what it was, because the guy was trying to tell me. If you look at here, those are pretty. If you compare that to 220, I think the coils are they're not as thick, and the coils aren't as close. Right here, there's not as many coils in a 220, from what I gather. And that's another reason why people don't like manufacturing the 110 version of these, is because how difficult it is to get those coils properly without touching. Because once you get those coils touching, it's a fire waiting to happen, right? Um, you'll have one section really hot compared to the other. So 110, the coils are really really tight, and then 220, I think the coils are a little bit further apart, and that's because of the nature of like it being 220 needing less. Why am I keep disconnecting every goddamn time? All right, keep disconnecting, but it's all right. OBS says we're messing up here. All right, I gotta pick up my kiddo. Um, Thanks, Crunchy Bacon, for staying. I appreciate your company, and there'll be more streams. I think I'll make it less repairing and putting the fan stream in and more other stuff like replacing a probe or putting PT100 or programming certain things. So I got to switch it up because I'm getting bored just installing these fans. There's only so many fan installs I could do. Started doing those on my own quietly. I could do them pretty quick now. All right. Thank you. I'll see you later. Bye.